Hello, everybody. Henry, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Randy should be able to see you later. Awesome. Sounds good. What's going on, everyone? Hugh, what's going on, my friend? I'm watching myself here. It's kind of weird, but also kind of cool. Keith, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Can you guys hear me okay? Happy Thursday, everybody. All right, all right, all right. Who's not creepy? Oh, me watching myself? Yeah, true. Corey, what's up, bro? What do you mean no love? You just popped up, dog. Come on. Unless this was you. Corey, was this you? Oh, that's Hugh. Hold on. I got a blank hi. So, Corey, if that was you, that's your fault because it showed up blank, I guess. Loud and clear. Right on, right on. Is anybody having a cocktail tonight? Happy Thursday. Thirsty Thursday, everybody. Also, check this out. No crutches. Boom. Crutches are gone. I do have an MRI tomorrow on my other knee, though. So we'll see. See what happens. While we're waiting for everybody to get in here, we'll start in 3 minutes. But I have a people swag order form for y'all to fill out. I just put it in the chat. No bourbon. Yeah. Keith, I get it. You shouldn't have any bourbon if you have a long drive ahead of you. So in the chat, I put a people swag order form, people finance. It's our new name. We're not going to change the name anymore, but it makes sense for our brand. Over the last 6 weeks, I've been looking at the Stonks search results over the last 2 years, and they peaked and then went straight down, just like crypto. So, but yeah, go ahead and fill out that order form while we wait a couple more minutes to get started, and then I'll take us through a quick agenda. We'll answer some questions, and we'll get back to work in the morning. But go ahead and fill that out. I'll throw the link in there one more time. Those of you coming in, there's a few people that just came in. In the chat is a order form for people finance swag. We're going to try to get that out in the next week or two. But this is pretty much for the OGs. You're more than welcome to share it around, but this is primarily for the OGs. So if you can fill that out, it's just first, last name, email, address, and t-shirt size. Who's KK? Who is this? I do like the creepy face, but who is this? Reveal yourself. I love the creepy face, though. Yeah, so if you guys can fill that order form out, we're going to get started in 1 minute. Rest in peace, Stonks. That is going to be one of the questions that we're going to address here in a moment. Let me know if that. Oh, Chris, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Let me know if that order form does not work for you guys. Matt, thanks for filling that out, bro. Appreciate it. Matt's the first one. Maybe he'll get an extra swag for being the first one. We'll see. All right. I do still want to get some OG Stonk swag out there, but we got to do one thing at a time. And right now, people finance. Corey, thanks for filling that out, bro. Eric, nice. All right, they're starting to flow in now. I'll check in on this here in a minute. Williams in also. Right on. All right, guys, let's get started. Peeps are just going to have to catch up. We'll watch this later. But let me go ahead and share my screen. I got a quick agenda for us to go through. Form completed. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. What's going on? People Finance. Last time we're going to change the name. I promise we're not going to change the name again. But Stonks was awesome. I think it got us going. I was actually quite surprised by how many people were really happy that we went with people. I probably got at least 40 or 50 messages from our group saying this fits our brand a lot more. And I was happy to hear that because I agree. I don't know why we didn't think about it in the first place. But I was talking to one of my buddies that has a startup. Corey, we'll talk about Grove Token in a sec. But one of my buddies, startup founder, and we were talking about kind of our go-to-market strategy for the end of the year into the first quarter of next year, and we're just talking like, like we started this company for the people, owned by the people, governed by the people, creating products for the people. And he just looked at me. He's like, Anthony, why don't you just call your company People Finance instead of Purple? I mean, Purple doesn't really even make sense. And so I sat there, looked at him. I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And so, so we're now People Finance. We have a couple domains, but right now it's peoplefinance.co. I'm in the works of getting people.fi as well. I'm hoping to have that secured tomorrow. And then to make it really easy for everybody, because we have people that don't really show up to our AMAs and whatnot that often, and then 6 months later come back online, and they still go to like the TriStonks website. And so what we're gonna do, hopefully tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Monday, all our different domains we're gonna point to People Finance. So even if you forget what the domain is, but you remember the tristonks.com domain, that's going to point to People Finance. So just to make it easy on everybody. But I have a little agenda for us to go through. So first we're going to address common questions because I don't feel like I address them enough. Carson and I get a lot of questions on the daily basis. Probably 40 to 60 questions every day. Our group is growing quite a bit. But I'm going to answer the common questions that keep on coming in. Our new brand, we kind of addressed that already. WeFunder, we're in pre-launch on WeFunder, waiting for the final forms to clear on the Form C for the SEC. Upcoming rollouts for when we get about 200K within WeFunder, like what we're going to roll out, because we'll do a rolling close, take that money out, and then start building again. And then some question and answers at the end. So if you have a question, please put them in the chat, but I won't answer them until the end because I do want to get through some of this fairly quickly. Okay, some common questions. Where are my shares? All right, Demetrius, what's going on, man? Haven't seen your name pop up in quite a bit of time, so good to see you, man. All right, so where are my shares? So the where are my shares question is the best question I could have put on the paper that kind of answers like 10 questions. So where are my shares? I don't see my shares in the app or the web app. My account shows no value because Steve, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you. I don't see the shares in the app. There's no value in my app, etc. So I'm going to answer this question. Randy, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you as well. So let me answer this question. Where are my shares? So let me answer this broadly, and then I'll answer it more specifically. Daniel, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. So the broad answer is if you ever signed a document with Stonks Trading, and we're going to address Stonks Trading here in a second. If you ever signed a document for shares for Stonks Trading, whether it was pre-WeFunder, WeFunder, Angel List, wherever you sign DPA, wherever you sign that, You have shares. I promise you. They are recorded legally. You have shares. Now, whether they show up in the app or not does not negate the fact that you have shares. We have a few different lists. It hasn't been collated yet, which, well, I think it is now. I think Carson and I worked on that last week. But we have had like 4 different raises, right? So like people's from the first raise and then the second raise and third, fourth, like we had to go to Angel List a couple weeks ago and ask for the CSV of everybody that invested on to Angel List, for example. We had to do the same for WeFunder. But I want to assure everybody, like if you're on this call and you still see 5 or 0 in your account, we are working through it. But you have shares. I promise you, like we'd get in serious trouble if your shares weren't accounted for. And so you do have shares. We are working on getting them in the app. But I promise you, if a document has ever been signed with Stonks Trading over shares, you have them legally. That document is binding. You are a shareholder. And then we will work on getting those into the app. And I think most of you all have them in the app now, but if you don't, please ping support@trystonks.com or text me directly. I screenshot those texts and send them to the support channel. So just let me know. Okay, so this is a common question because we've changed our name from Purple to People. From Stonks to Purple to People. And so I'm going to answer these 2 bullet points in the same way, but I wanted to differentiate them out in 2 different bullet points just so everybody knows kind of what's going on. So do my shares still count towards People Finance? Yes. We have not changed the legal entity, and we will not change the legal entity. We still are Stonks Trading. We're doing business as People Finance. And so all legal documents, and now, granted, if we ever do change the legal name, all the shares will transfer also. But just to kind of, I've been getting this question a lot, and I was getting the question a lot when we changed the name to Purple as well. But do my shares still count towards People Finance? Yes. The legal entity is still Stonks Trading Inc. out of Delaware. None of that has ever changed. That's also been filed with the latest Form C with the SEC. Our legal entity is still Stonks Trading, a corporation, a C corp out of Delaware. We're just doing business as a different name. So it also goes to the second bullet point. Are all previous purchases still valid? Stonks to Purple to People? Yes. Again, we're doing the overarching. Still, the legal entity, the C corp, is Stonks Trading. But People Finance is the doing business as. Payout on referrals. This is another common question that is popping up quite a bit. So I do want to address it. And the reason why we haven't addressed it yet. 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago when we first started, there was some legal discrepancies that I had no idea. We've talked about this many times on these AMAs. But one of the things was the SEC doesn't even allow for free shares to be given away. For whatever reason, I don't know. But legally, the free shares, there's a limit on how many free shares that you can give to an unaccredited investor. It's bullshit. But we can only give 35 people free shares every year, or have them on the cap table. And so the way around that is just upping everybody that has invested the shares, even though the referrals at this current state wouldn't be able to get those. There's a workaround, so don't pause there yet. Your referrals won't be able to get those until we do a share drop with Republic. The problem is the share drop is a regulation crowdfunding raise. Essentially, they still look at the SEC still looks at it as a raise. But we can't do that until next fiscal year because we're doing a raise now on WeFunder, which I'll send the link at the end of the video. You can also go to peoplefinance.co, and where it says become an owner, just so you guys can see, peoplefinance.co. That's our new site. We're also buying people.fi as well. But Kyle, what's going on, bro? We just can't do free shares until we have a gap in raising money and being able to do free shares. So our fiscal year ends in December. So we're hopefully going to wrap this raise up, and we're going to talk about the raise here in a second, by December. But that's kind of where the legal designation, and again, I want to be transparent with everybody. When we first started, I had no idea that we couldn't give free shares away, which is why we stopped and went to WeFunder. But the free shares that we eventually will give away will have to be on a share drop basis through a Reg CF platform like Republic. Finally, and then Keith, I'll get to your question here in a sec, but I just want to get to these common questions. So finally is, where the fuck is the Android app? So I probably get, this is probably outside of like, where are my shares? The question I get several times a day. And I know I've been saying it's coming for a long time. That still hasn't changed. We need to raise money to be able to, because we're rebuilding everything. We're building the banking and the trading app together. So it's going to be a refresh anyways. But we have the web app. That's app.purple.fi. It will change to app.people.fi pretty soon. So Android users can use the web application. I know that's not ideal right now. Kyle, this question was specifically for you because you do ask, and I think Keith, you asked too, but it is coming. It's not going to take long once we get the raise done and the rebrand, which we're using a UI UX agency called Habitat, and they are phenomenal. If you guys care to see their work, I can send along. I can share it on our next week's AMA. So I did schedule. It won't go out until after this one, but I did schedule the next 3 AMAs out already, because now we're starting to hit a groove again. And so every Thursday for the next 3 weeks, we're going to have AMAs, and then so that everybody can, we can get back in that groove as we've talked about. But you'll see, everyone will get pinged for the next one next Thursday, probably about an hour after this one. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated on that as we get closer. Okay. Let me answer Keith's question real quick. What value does my ambassador invest? So Keith, we're still working on that, but we'll probably do a drop to ambassadors because they were all investors anyways. So we'll just have to fix that in the cap table, but that's something that we will get done at the close of the WeFunder round because we can just tie it into there. Good question though. Okay, let's move on. Oops, I think that is not what I wanted to talk about first. Let's put that at the end. We'll go through that here pretty soon. Boom. All right, pretend you did not see that because that is out of order. Anyways, okay. So common questions, our new brand we talked about. So let's talk. Oh, that was WeFunder, but let's talk about upcoming rollouts. So People Finance is the vision is the best possible financial products for the people. I really do want to start. The time is escaping me during the day, but I do really want to start a series. And our lead investor and I were talking about this yesterday about just every day taking 5 minutes and talking about like a bullshit thing that's happening in the financial markets. So, yesterday, Loan Depot, not Home Depot, but Loan Depot laid off like 60% of its employees. But the chief financial officer, who's like 7th in command, made $50 million last year. Like, it's fucking horseshit. Like, that should not happen. And so our lead investor was like, dude, you should talk about like just every day, like US Bank fraudulently opening accounts, Robinhood, like, stealing people's data, Loan Depot taking $50-60 million for executives' paychecks, and then lays off half of its people. And so what we want to do is like, I don't need to make that money. Like, we're all going to make a hell of a lot of money when we sell the company. So I don't need to make that kind of money. Our team does not need to make that kind of money. What that allows us to do is build products without the end goal of the executives making money, right? Like, this platform is for the people, for our shareholders. And so, we're reimagining financial products. And I don't want to talk too much about like what's in my mind because, as you guys know, I have a lot of ideas, but we're trying to streamline and just roll things out slowly but methodically. And so right now we have stocks and crypto trading. That's going to be redesigned with the next rollout, with our version 2 rollout. With that version 2 rollout, we're rolling out savings and checking accounts. We are partnering with high yield APY checking or savings accounts where we can get 5% savings accounts, which is pretty remarkable. More of that to come when we get closer to that banking partnership. Upcoming rollout also is the People Token. That's going to be the governance of the platform itself. And then this probably won't happen right away, but it's something that I want to get on everybody's roadmap or like in your mind is the monetization of our users' data. What do I mean by that? We want our users to be able to monetize their own data. And so if they want to sell their data to other financial institutions or whoever's buying financial data, we want our users to be able to make money off of that. And so if our users decide to like, yeah, fine, if people sell my data, they're going to make money. It's not going to be the company's decision to sell data. We're going to put that in the power into the user's hand and they can monetize their own data. That is in stark contrast to what financial institutions do. Like Robinhood, for example, just sells your data. And so they make a lot, millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars on selling our data. We're putting that back into the people's hands by, hey, you toggle a switch, you can monetize your own data and just another stream on our platform. So those three, the savings and checking account, stock and crypto trading, and the People Token, those are going to be the immediate rollouts because they're just partnerships, just like Alpaca. And then the slower things that I'm not really going to get into now because I don't want to talk too much about it, will roll out in a very sequential order when we raise our final funding. Okay, so I kind of jumped on this a little bit, but the savings and checking account is 5% APY, all FDIC insured, so they are real bank accounts, not fake crypto bank accounts. 0% lines of credit. I'm going to dig in on this in a second. Bear with me because I'll go deeper on the 0% line of credit. Debit cards, direct deposit, bill pay. So like what you would expect out of a checking account. And then of course our stock and crypto trading, that hasn't changed. What we are hoping to add in there in version 2 is shorting. As you know, markets are going down. Be nice to be able to short the markets and make money there as well. No promises on that, but that is something that we are wanting to do when our raise is complete. And then the People Token, this is the governance of the platform itself. Something that you'll notice as you guys go through WeFunder is when investing into this round, you're also going to get token as well. So we're aligning benefits. And if you did the DPA, we're also going to give shares away as well. We're going to just roll it into the WeFunder raise. But that's really important because now we're aligning the benefits of the shareholders and the token holders as well. So when you guys look through WeFunder, you'll see that the investor perks is the token, along with a few other things. And then that token, of course, will be backed by real world assets and not fake stuff, essentially. The people data dividend, we touched on briefly, but this puts the power back into the user's possession and allows them to monetize or not monetize their own data depending on the goals on our platform. So let me talk about this for a moment. Kind of let me tell you where the idea came from, and then I'll roll it out a little bit more, and then tell you how we're going to implement it. So Jill's my wife. We were looking at getting a line of credit against our home. We built that significant amount of equity. We want to have a line of credit to be able to backstop things if we need to, whatever the reason is. Doesn't really matter, but we want to get a line of credit. And the goddamn banks wanted to charge us 7.5% for the line of credit. And so it's like, man, that's my money. Like, I should be able to get a line of credit when I want, how I want. Doesn't really matter. It's my money. Well, then I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I started looking at CDs, which is certificate of deposits at a bank, and you can lock up your money and you can actually take a loan against your CD and they'll charge you 5%. It's like, well, that's my money. I should be able to borrow against that if I need to. But the bank will charge an interest rate on that. That's kind of bullshit. And so it started doing research. You guys know I'm a geek, so I read a lot. Well, then I started diving into like 112 million Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 112 million, 80%. Yet we want people to save their money. And so, like, what happens if you have somebody that really wants to save, but also needs liquidity against it, like, so that they can pay their bills? So we're rolling out, and we've already cleared this with our banking partner, but we're rolling out a 0% line of credit with the savings account as collateral. So here's how this looks. So say I come into our platform and I want to save $5,000. Okay, boom, put it in there, starts making 5% APY. 2 months down the road, I really need that money because an emergency came up. Well, what we're going to offer is the person that saves with us, we'll give them a $3,000 line of credit at 0% APY or APR. We'll use the savings account as collateral, so if they default on the loan, we'll get our money back plus a penalty, and then they have their savings account. What this does is it gives instant liquidity to our users while also reinforcing good behavior on saving your money. Because as the markets get worse, which they're going to, people are going to go more cash heavy. I'm already cash heavy. I'm 80% cash. I'll probably start buying here again pretty soon, but I'm pretty cash heavy. And so people are taking their money, saving it, and that's what we want to do. We want to reinforce good behavior, and we want people to save their money and get ready for the next bull run. And so that's how the 0% line of credit is going to work. I really am loving the no interest. Of course, we don't make money on that. We have some ideas on how to make money. So, like, say someone takes out $1,000 line of credit, 100% of the payments go to principal, and we may charge like a $4 administrative fee or something like that when they make their payment. So there's ways that we can monetize it while reversing the interest so people can actually pay it off. But anyways, we've been approved by our banking partner to do that, and I think it's going to be a real key differentiator for us. And then we can do the same type of theory with like margin loans and stuff for people that want to take a loan out while trading or whatnot. But anyways, it's pretty cool thing. Corey, no worries, brother. Good to see you, man. Hit me up later. But yeah, pretty excited about that. That's going to be a pretty quick rollout once we get this funding done. We've talked about the crypto coin already. Now let's talk about WeFunder real quick. So the valuation is still $25 million. We're looking to raise $5 million, which I think we will do it. The market's kind of interesting at the moment, but there's a lot of interest. I've been talking probably about 8 to 10 conversations a day about people that want to invest into our WeFunder campaign that are asking questions on a one-on-one basis. But we're looking to raise $5 million. What this allows us to do is move very, very quickly. We can about quadruple our engineering team. It gives us a little bit more than an 18-month runway, and I'll explain what that means here in a second. And about half of it is going to go to marketing. So we need about $250,000, $300,000 more to finish out like the perfect build on our platform, or at least the perfect version 2 build of our platform. Of course, it's always going to be iterated on and whatnot. But we need about $300K to be able to build that up perfectly. And then the rest of it goes to operations and marketing. With this raise, I do believe, especially with some of the things that we're going to roll out, we'll have 1 million accounts open by the end of next year. And so kind of what that looks like at the current valuations and the current multiples for fintechs like ours, That's about $1 billion valuation. So about a 20x multiple on revenue in. And so that's what we're doing on WeFunder. I think by the end of next year, if we do hit our 1 million accounts, then we would be very, very viable to go public if we wanted to, if we voted on that. And of course, no promises. This is just projections. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Guess what? No one's getting a huge ass salary when we raise this money. So it literally is all going to engineering, operations. Operations would be accounting, lawyers, and then really user acquisition. So when I say 18-month runway, I told you I'd come back to that. But when I say 18-month runway, that literally means if we get no users. So if we got no users, we raised 5 million. We got no users we have about 18 to 20 months before we have to go raise again. If we get 25,000 users, we don't have to go raise again. And so these numbers are very low for what we need. We need to clear up our burn, but with the 5 million, we should be able to get 1 million accounts based on our projections. We currently have a little over 1,000 active accounts, and our waitlist does continue to grow. We have about 14,000 that continue to grow on the waitlist. A lot of the new ones that are coming in are from the recent WeFunder launch. We haven't gone live yet on WeFunder. We're still waiting for the Form C to be filed, but people are starting to pick up there. Word of mouth starting to grow again. Yeah, so we have a little over 1,000 active accounts. Our AUM keeps on growing, which is nice. But we still haven't spent any money on marketing. And so we're going to spend a lot of money on marketing because that's just going to go right back into our pockets. Now, we get 1 million users, we will have a significant valuation. And so really it's getting the trading completed, the banking completed, and then a really, really, really big social media push and marketing push. Why do we have 14,000 waiting when we have an active app? It's a good question, Kyle. A lot of them are, well, not a lot of them. We have Android users. We have web app users. We have iOS users. That's a good question. We do push at the apps going. And I know there's someone I was talking to that invested like 30 grand with us. I was like, I didn't even know an app was ready. And it's been ready for like a year. So not sure, but it does continue to grow every day, our users. So about 2 months ago, we had like 700. And so it continues to grow, but as we be able to get more features out, and people could be waiting for better features, right? Like I'd be the first to say like our features aren't the best out there. So people may be waiting to transfer from Webull or Robinhood or TD until our features are where they need to be. And so there's definitely some sentiment out there that like the app needs to be better, which I agree with. I still use it. I still trade on it. But so that's a good question. I don't know why the wait list continues to grow, but the app download isn't catching the wait list. But if I was to make a guess, it would be because the features aren't quite there yet, which I understand. The credit union issue should be fixed, Kyle. Yep. Let me ask Carson and Cena in the morning, though. If you try to do it tonight, if it's not working, But that's what we spent the last couple months doing, is fixing the infrastructure. So cool. Okay. Well, are there any other questions? Again, we're gonna keep the cadence going for the next at least 3 Thursdays. No worries, Kyle. Thanks, bro. I'll check with Carson and Cena in the morning. Daniel, great question, man. So Daniel asked, when is the app face going to change from stonks to people? We're gonna change that. I wanted to have this conversation first. I didn't want like everybody to be on their app and all of a sudden it's people finance. So it's ready to go. We just have to push it, and so we'll probably push it on Monday. And so you'll see that update coming, in the next couple days. But I wanted to have this conversation first before we push it to people finance. We also have a newsletter that's going to start on Monday. And so we're going to, it's not just going to be updates on people. Like we're going to actually do some like curated content that is more contrarian, like, you know, big banks are assholes type stuff. Because I think it is important for our brand to be very, very anti what's going on in the markets and with how finance treats people, like normal people. And so we do have a newsletter starting on Monday. Just to let everybody know. Never got any stonk swag. Yep. So Kyle, if you fill out that sheet, did you fill out that sheet yet? No, you didn't. Let me throw this in. Kyle, I think you came a few minutes late. So I'm putting in the chat right now this form. Oh, here, how about you guys see my face? There we go. Yeah, so fill out that form and we'll get you out some swag. So we're gonna get some swag here pretty soon, like in the next week or so. You want some? What do I do with all my old stuff? Daniel, keep that stonk swag, bro. That's OG stuff. So someday we're gonna have a story about it. Like only the OGs will have the stonk stuff. So I still have my stonk swag. I'll wear it on the next AMA just to promote the OG stonks in the movement that we created. So what does the timeline for the coin going live look like? Hugh, that's a good question. It's definitely not going to happen until we get a little bit further along in the raise. Just because like really all my focus on that at the moment is on that at the moment. So I'm doing a few hundred emails a day, about 10 to 12 phone calls to get this raise momentum going. But once we raise about 300K, then we can start moving on that. So, but anyways, yeah, so that's kind of the timeline on that. So if we get 300K in the next couple of weeks, then we could probably do something about it by December, January. But yeah, that's the projected guess at the moment. Yeah, we can send another Discord link out. That's going to be a part of our newsletter strategy as well as getting the Discord channel humming along quite nicely. Frank, put your if you didn't already, put your contact information in there. We'll get some OG stonk swag out as well. Let's see. Any other questions? Any other questions? Feel free to share that People Finance swag with some friends. Maybe not too many. Don't put it on Facebook, but people that you know that aren't here right now, go ahead and send it out. One day there will be a documentary about stonks. Oh, hell yeah, there will be for sure. All right, Josh. Yeah, everybody that didn't get stonk swag, just put your contact information there, and we'll send out T-shirts. We'll do people and stonks, and we'll get some OG stuff and some new stuff as well. Oh, one question I wanted to ask you guys and gals. Would you, okay, so I'm thinking about, because of how centric this is, and this won't be until like the raise is done, the app is done. But we're going to do some like old school guerrilla marketing, especially in Des Moines. But do you guys want like a QR code? It could be small or big, whatever. We can design it. But would you want a QR code on the shirt or on swag? So like with people like, what's People Finance? They could just scan the QR code, or is that dumb? Like, just say yes or no. You don't have to give an explanation. Just say yes or no if it's a dumb idea or a good idea. I came late. When will we see your investment on the app? Kyle, I will tell Carson to put it in, or I'll let him know that you still need it in there. And we'll get it in. Yeah, we did address at the top of the hour, but yeah, I'll let Carson know in the morning to get that in. Anybody else say yes besides you to the QR on the shirt? All right. I guess Hugh wins. Oh, wait, here we go. I like the QR code for some shirts. Yes. Okay, cool. Keith says yes. I would add it yes. Okay, cool. All right. I think we already have a statistically statistical yes. So cool. We can do it on some shirts. And then if we don't want it on others, we don't have to have it. Darla said yes too. Okay, Darla counts as 3 yeses. So anything Darla says, she gets 3 yeses for sure. Okay, well, we'll talk next Thursday. Before then, I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow that I'll put on our YouTube channel. Again, while we're waiting for this raise to come and then the engineers to get ramped back up, we're going to kind of become a little content company while we're waiting. So we'll have the newsletter go starting on Monday. We will have some video content starting on Monday as well. And then just giving more opportunities for everybody to share stuff, grow our wait list, continue to grow our WeFunder presence. We'll start advertising on Monday as well for WeFunder. But anyways, it's great catching up with everybody. I got to hit it. But I'll see you next Thursday. Again, like you all know, you have my number. I need some swag for Charlotte. Deal, Frank, let me know how much you need. But have a great weekend, everybody. A great rest of your weekend. We'll talk next Thursday. If you need anything, please let me know. You always know that you can holler at me anytime. But appreciate all of you. It's great to see you and catch up. And we'll talk next Thursday. Have a great night, everybody.